Good morning, Dr. Clendenning. How are you?
Good, the Michael Libercci. How you doing today, man?
Man, I'm kicking ass and taking names.
No, it's normal.
I've got I got a doozy of an episode for us today, man. I've been saving
Yeah,
this
man.
so we don't talk offline. I've been kind of keeping this a little secret and wanted to spring it on you here fresh without you even knowing it. So, as you know, I've been deep diving into what I call SF YouTube, right? Special Forces YouTube, and all the drama and the whole world that goes and is involved in Special Forces YouTube, right? What happens is a bunch of these guys that were our thank you all for your service, love you all, but a bunch of these gentlemen are going on YouTube doing these full length interviews, and then a bunch of other like SF police dogs are picking little incremental bits of the interview, and then they're going on their own podcast saying, "Well, I've got this guy's documentation, and he said he retired as this, and he's lying about that." Meanwhile, there's this whole weird drama circle going on around the back end. So if you're one of those guys who's kind of trolling in the background, I get it, thank you, but understand when you're getting ready to talk smack on somebody, make sure you kind of listen to every interview they've done. So I've heard a couple of you out there that are pulling things up that have already been covered. I'll dive into that later. One of the main guys out there that I've been hearing interviews on is this guy named John Shrek McPhee. And I'm not name grabbing to pull ratings on our own stuff here. What I like to do is I like to say, okay, special forces and our military brothers and sisters have gone through a specific training, and in wartime, that specific training gets applied to chaos. And when you can apply training to chaos, there's real intelligence there. And I want to leave the gratefulness of service for a minute and say, okay, let's look at some of the things as I've listened to this guy, John, get interviewed. A couple of things that I like to hear is he talks about mastering the basics, and he's even talking about like, can you work your radio? Can you tie your boots a certain way? Like, is everything or all the basics done to the nth degree so that you become maximally efficient at what you're doing? Now, if this is a Delta Force operator who's done unbelievable things in service of his country, so many solo missions, so many different things, led so many teams, so many extractions, right or wrong, war, no war, doesn't matter. Training meets chaos. Do the basics perfectly and then become more efficient. Now, what I'd like to talk to you about is just that delta of, okay, what are we doing to do the basics? How do we know the gap between, all right, I'm efficient, then now in the world of outsourcing, let's outsource everything, but now I have a new set of basics, right? There's this weird muck every level up, right? And in our conversations, I like to be practical and really, really, really give people the origin of the information, what the hell we're doing with it, because you and I face this daily in our coaching, daily. People are not, and again, this is not an insult, but people are not effective at the basics. They want to punt. They don't want to do it. And they say, okay, well, that's not my zone of genius. Well, you have no effectiveness, period. You're not even trying to get in a zone of genius. You're just punting because of difficulty. Let's talk about that. Let's expand that. When I kind of say, okay, it obviously hit me because I know I'm not doing some stuff, right? To be totally like truth talk, I know that I can be doing some fundamentals a little bit better. And it's reasons why I do this research and listen to other people that have actually done things at a high level that I get motivated, right? It's called a mentor without even knowing you're a mentor. Or it could be called selective hearing, and I'm bullshitting myself, but hey. So, that's why I like to run things by you, right? Like you're the guy. So let's break that down. Like bring it from a Jake perspective. When you hear do the basics effectively, and you're a master at outsourcing, you're a master of doing the basics from your loadouts, your bow practice, your business practices, your taking care of your ranch. You're constantly efficient at doing just about everything. One of the most efficient people I've ever come across in my entire life. So give us let's peel back the curtain and teach Mr. Chaos a few things here.
Yeah. So first of all, thank you for that. I appreciate that. I love the gratitude today. Secondly, who's the Jack Wang that's picking a fight with special operators? Like, why don't you
There
go?
are other special operators with YouTube channels that are picking apart details
Man,
and expanding, right? This like these microcosms. And I feel in that world, it may mean something. But when someone says, okay, at this point in my life, I'm no longer a part of an organization because this event was messy. And then you go ahead and say, oh, well, this is the real reason why. Well, yeah, he didn't go into detail in the interview about why it was messy. But it's clear when you say something's messy, it means it's messy. When the guy, I don't know. I don't know why they're doing that. I mean, I guess it means
I
something in
mean,
that world.
of the people in the universe I could think to pick a fight with, special operators are not amongst them. That's right up there with going to Yellowstone and petting a buffalo. That's a bad idea, man. So I just kind of ranting there. So all right, let's talk about basics. Let's talk about the basics. So the basics are boring. Period. The basics are boring. And that's why people are just don't do it. Right? It doesn't give me the endorphin rush. It doesn't give me that dopamine hit. It doesn't give me, man, it's not super sexy and awesome and I want to do it. No, it takes discipline. It takes discipline and it's a routine. You'll hear this a lot of times. People will say, well, geez, this just feels like I'm going through the motions. Good. That means you're on the path to mastery. That means because you have to master the basics. You think about martial arts is a great example of that. You have to master a stance, right? You have to get into a specific stance. That is the root of everything you do from then on for the rest of your life to become a master, but you have to get good at that. And you have to keep doing it. You can't go, all right, I know how to do that stance. Now show me something different. No, it's the basics. You have to do it as a root, as a grounding, as a foundational piece, no matter what you're doing, right? And Mike mentioned, I've been showing you guys a bunch of different, letting you in on personal side of my universe a little bit around, what my backpacks look like and what it looks like to shoot and what I'm doing with my bow and what I'm doing to get ready for hiking and all these other little things. These are the exact same things I've been doing since I've been able to do it, 40 plus years. I've been alive 52. And I have photographic evidence of me shooting a bow at 1 year old. So I've been shooting a bow for 51 years. I still do it every day. And I still have to do the exact same thing every single day. The same shot, the same sequence, the same thing. Great book. If you read it, Relentless, and it was Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant's basketball coaches. If you ever read that, he had them doing. These guys are by any stretch of imagination. I don't care what your affiliation with basketball is. If you love them or hate them, doesn't matter. They were some of the greatest to ever play the game. That's just fair. I think we can all say that is true. Same is true with Tom Brady. As far as football it goes,
World class.
right? World class. Guess what they did? The same damn thing every single day, consistently doing the basics. So this I do. I get fired up about this basics thing because a lot of my clients, they run away from it, right? I've done that before. I've worked on that. Who gave you permission to stop doing it?
Right?
It's no different than brushing your teeth. Brushing your teeth by any account is considered something basic, right? It is a habit. However, if you just quit doing it, what's the result of that? Well, it's not just my smile gets yellow. That's not how that works. That's going to start causing bacterial issues. That's going to flow into your guts. You're going to have bacterial and weird growth and all kinds. Like not brushing your teeth, not taking care of your oral hygiene as a basic of life is going to cause you massive problems down the road
Right?
if you look for your teeth. Right. So this is where we're talking about mastering it's in every aspect of your life. Right? You can pick it apart. Mike did a good job of saying, okay, you're doing the basics in this area and you're doing the basics in this area and you're doing the basics in this area. That's true because you have personal health basics, fitness. Notice I put those in two categories. Fitness basics. You have, what you're going to eat basics. This is just fuel for the system, fuel for the machine. Before you even get to play with, am I a good human being basics, just showing up every day. before I get to be a good athlete, before I get to be a great business person, before I get to be any of these other things. And there's basic things you have to do in each and every one of those. And we can't master them all at once, right? That's
Right.
too big. That's too
Well,
big to ask of anybody. So look
well,
at your let's take Mike. So give me a basic. Like
all right. So I'm going to give you a basic just after this. I want to talk about our sponsors real quick, and I want to say with
yeah, we
special
kind of should.
gratitude. Our sponsors allow us to sort of bring this show to you in a bigger way, right? So, let Jake, why don't you talk about our first sponsor here?
Yeah, so this is Opus Clip. Their tagline is multiply your reach without multiplying your workload. Opus Clips is it. We use this for taking the bigger parts of the podcast, putting them into the bite-sized clips so you can see the smaller pieces. It's an awesome tool. Check the QR code for some really great discount codes. Opus Clips. This one is Cyberbacker. Your time is priceless. Let Cyberbacker handle the rest. You guys should know by now that we have a team behind us. This is who they are. This is our VA staffing company. Absolutely amazing. Again, check the QR code. Got some amazing discount codes for you. Your script, your voice, brand, Big View makes it shine. We do a lot of shorts on Big View. This is another great video editing tool. For those of us that are not awesome, this makes us look pretty cool. Check out
Yeah,
the
Big View's
QR
great.
code. This is absolutely great.
I love Big View. And last but not least, our favorite, not
Kajabi,
Kajabi.
from idea to income, Kajabi makes it possible. So this is our entire platform. Everything that we've got, you guys have been inside of this. This is our guild. This is our inner circle. This is all of our coaching calls. This is our additional segments, our blog posts, our website, our email campaigns, all within one platform. Hit the QR code. Great discount code on Kajabi.
All right. Well, thanks, Jake. Appreciate that. And thank you to our sponsors. So let's get back to basics, right? When we talk about basics, what I do in my day, right, is I have basic function. Like I look at my calendar all the time. It is a basic function. And I manage my calendar. If I don't, I'm so bad at organization. If I don't obsess about it, I suck. If I don't manage my calendar 3 times a day, if I don't go, where have I been? Where am I going? What am I doing? What's tomorrow? What's the next day? What's 4 days from now? I forget. There's so much nonsense in my life distracting me that I can't avoid, that I want to distract me, kids and run around businesses and stuff. That it's I've got to be present. And to be present, to do the basics, I've got to be squared away with this is me, where I'm at, where I've been, where I'm going. I have to have that. And if I have too much crap jogging around this brain of mine, I become overwhelmed, unproductive, and I can't do anything. Right. So if you're in a person who's kind of a little bit lost, right, or you're a person who's a little bit like you have a ton of momentum and you're totally jumbled up, this is a good hack, right? Getting familiar with where you are, where you're going. It literally takes me about a minute and a half to 2 minutes tops. I mean, I don't even do anything fancy. Like I've got a flip phone like this, right? I open this thing up and boom, like right in there is this calendar. You just sort of, I'm going to show it on screen here. It's like a bunch of colors. It's reflective off the light, but you know, you don't need to bring it up on a desktop. You don't have to have something that's 57 inches behind you with everything on it. And it's not complicated. It's color codes. We talked about it. It's a simple tool. I find that if I don't do that, then I don't set aside at least, I do this on Sunday mostly, right? I will start Thursday and Sunday. Thursday, I start chirping for next week on appointments, confirmations, and everything else. Sunday is when I kind of say, okay, who did I miss Thursday? And if that doesn't work for you, you can do it during the week if you only want to be a 9 to 5 individual. Effective, efficient, clean, and simple. It takes about a good 20 minutes to completely do what I'm talking about per shot. You want to spend 20 minutes to a half an hour looking at things. You don't want to rush through that. I enjoy it now because I realize the pain associated with me not doing that is greater than the pressure I feel that I should be doing something else, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then another basic, I make sure I move. I make sure that I literally move. I will take Zoom meetings walking. I will make sure that at least at some point in the day I do 40 minutes, if not a little more, a little less, of walking. Just walking. There's bare basic. I mean, I do a lot more than that when I can. But for circulation purposes and just to check the health box, even if I'm at a bare minimum and I walk. If I'm on a treadmill doing a meeting and I walk. If I'm on a phone call and I'm walking. Now, I'm not doing high level tasks while I'm walking because I can't really do high level tasks. I can't sit there and create while I'm walking, like on a laptop or something like that. But it works, right? Basics are me up here and then me down here. So that's my jam when I start doing those. Those are just two examples of how to get yourself back to center. And
And
it works.
those are super core.
Core. Boring, but exciting at the same time because my calendar is my control.
Mm-hmm.
And that gives me a sense of, all right, I have a lot of things that are dictated, a lot of responsibilities, but I'm in control of them because I know they're coming and I can mentally unfold for those responsibilities.
So let's play a little coaching real quick, Mike. So on your calendar, at a level 1 to 10, 1 being I suck at it, 10 being I am the greatest person calendaring that ever walked the face of this planet, where would you rate yourself today?
8.5.
8.5. Cool. Now we could go down the whole coaching road. I could ask you why you gave your, but I'm going a little faster with that today. So I leverage my calendar out at this point. At this point, my executive assistant, my director of operations, controls my calendar, and I had to let it go at a certain point. So here's what I'll ask Mike: based on if you could hand your calendar to somebody that's never seen your day before, how under from a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being they couldn't possibly understand what I'm up to, and 10 being it is clear. What would you rate it at?
I would say at a 1. They couldn't possibly understand what I'm up to
Okay.
because my my extraneous schedule changes on the fly a lot, and there's a lot of when I with young kids, the schedule is sort of set, but it changes daily.
That's
Like,
fluid.
for example, I'll give you a great example. I was driving back. I was out of town, and I was driving from south to north. It was scripted that I would go. I would be in 2 hours from where I was, pick up my son from school from his high school football practice, then get him to his baseball practice, and then pick up my other son and his friend from golf, and then just kind of like just do this whole loop. Well, at 4:30, that changed to now I'm going completely different. So if I had all that scripted and I was blocking out appointments, so it in a half an hour I had to rearrange a bunch of things, but that happens a lot. That happens almost too much. So if I would release right now, if I would release a lot of my schedule to somebody, they'd be like, "Whoa, how did you do all that?" Well, just a matter of it,
So
right?
this is the point. This is exactly where I'm trying to head with this. So currently, no harm, no foul in this. This is not any of that. Because Mike feels that his calendar is about a 1, it's probably better than that. But Mike feels that his calendar is living at about a 1. It's not systemized enough to be able to hand it to somebody else so that they can effectively manage his calendar and help him manage his day. Therefore,
Right.
Mike currently, that would not be something that would fall into a role to get leveraged out. A lot of people automatically just jump to that. Oh, I'm going to have him run my calendar. However, if you do not have whatever you're going to give your person, your executive assistant, I use Cyberbacker. I've been with them for years. If I'm going to give Krista something to do, it has to be systemized in such a way that she can succeed at doing it. Because when she can succeed at doing it, it makes me run faster. It makes me better. It makes me more efficient. But I've got to make sure at the basic level that thing. So right at this moment, right, that would not be something we would relinquish the
Nope.
full calendar control to an executive assistant. Now, there's probably parts of it. Like
Yep.
with mine, mine's fully blocked out. Mine is fully, Chris knows, here's the blocks, here's where things fall, here's where the reschedules go. This is when you send this out. I mean, it's systemized that I don't have to touch it. Do I review it once a week like Mike does? Yes, absolutely. I still do it. I don't do it on Sundays. I typically do it on Thursdays. I'll do for next week. I'll just go through there, make sure everything's cool and groovy. I will double check things on Monday morning just in case something changed over the weekend. But by and large, the blocks don't move. They don't. There's some little stuff that'll change, but does life happen? Yes. But this is being able to create, and your calendar is a system. Hear me say that. Like Mike's got it as a system, I've got it as a system. And you've got to be at a confidence level of being able to let it go. I'm going to tell you, if you can't grade yourself at a 7 or 8, do not let that go and leverage that out. You're not ready for it, and you're
No, I
not
don't.
going.
I don't
Yeah.
want to let it go. I want to keep it close to the vest for now.
For now,
Because
for now. But
it's
this is for the audience, right? This
no,
is
I get
just
it.
so that
No, but
somebody's going to hear this.
I want to eventually, but I don't want to right now. That's why I became more efficient at it. See,
Hmm.
the other caveat is I can't. You've got double redundancy, right? If Krista becomes inefficient, which could happen, she's human, you're efficient. If you're inefficient, she's efficient, right? Like, so I know through my maturity, because I've been around a while. I know my maturity is just don't fight it. Just look at it, say yes, say no, book that time, block this out, do this, do that, whatever it might be, schedule this, understand that. And when I make appointments, especially for my kids, come hell or high water, I'm like, guys, we are not punting. Oh, I have a friend over. Nope, nope. Bring your friend. Like today, I've got to get my one kid a haircut. His buddy's over. Like, let's go. You're coming with us. Like, you're just gonna sit there and watch. Like, I don't care. Yeah, that's not on me, right? So it's a great anchor system. And when you're leveraging, like you're systematizing and you're outsourcing and you're leveraging, you're still checking the work. You're still becoming effective. You're still becoming efficient. And
Hmm.
when you have to rearrange, well, there's an efficiency there too, right? So, we're using calendars as a metaphor. You could say email, you can say correspondence, you can do any of this stuff. Become efficient, understand, at some point you will have a team. What I suck at, I leverage out. We have our your executive assistant, our director of operations for this whole thing, right? What we don't have, we leverage. What we're not great at, and we understand that even being efficient at it still is a waste of time, we don't do it. So there's the difference, right? But we're good at the basics. If we had to roll our sleeves up, well, let's go. All right, I understand. I'll take on any challenge. It's just a half hour, right? Just a couple of hours. I'm not going to live and die by a principle, right? And I'm not going to be arrogant and not, show it up. Like I had a client say, hey, is there any chance from this is how organized this person is. From December, whatever, because we normally have a coaching call on a certain day. Can we move our coaching call to Saturday morning? So I'm like, till April 1st. I'm like, really? Okay. Normally I don't work on weekends because I'm all over the place. But sure, yeah, great. Let me check a couple days. Well, I don't see why not. I'm a yes man. Like looked at the calendar, looked at the schedule, said yes, and then boom. If you know what I'm talking about, right? But when you know what's what and you have controls, I can just move things around. It's a perspective shift, right? It's a perspective shift. Still the same 24 hours. Just because I'm doing something on a Saturday versus a Friday doesn't mean I have less of a life or the world's coming to an end. No, it's not that big a
Right.
deal. I mean, after a while, like it, man. After a while, go fight, win, go do it. Who cares? It's not
Yeah.
work anyway. You love to do it,
Here,
right?
here's the other little hack in that one, and this is a little bit about willpower's on not on will call. You get up every single day with X amount of willpower in your tank. It's as full as it's going to get for the whole day. It is not getting more in there. You are not increasing. You're not adding to. It's like, charging the car at the beginning of the day and taking off driving. It's just not self-generating more power.
Uh-huh.
You only have so much willpower. So traditional thinking, and I coach on this because it's true for me as well, is do the hardest thing you don't want to do first. Get that done, because that's going to take the most willpower to force yourself to do it. I've got one in my calendar for Monday mornings, first thing in the morning, like 7 a.m. Monday morning. Not first thing for me, that's 3 hours into the day, but like 7 a.m., I've got a 3 hour time block to do something I don't like doing. It's not my jam, not my favorite thing in the world, but it has to get done. It has to get done. It still has to occur, because if it doesn't get done, it's not that it just doesn't get done. Like, literally, stuff breaks. Things don't happen. Like, I get calls if these don't get done, and it's not something I can leverage out. It's something I physically have to touch, because there's enough time in there of having to review and do clerical stuff. It can't be done, so I have to do it. So why is it?
Oh,
It's on my calendar immediately Monday,
right.
not 4 o'clock on Friday, or it ain't getting done for me.
But you only know that because you failed a million times. Like, you didn't start out by doing that, right? Like, you didn't sort of walk out of this sort of a class one day and you're like, oh my God, I'm gonna put the hardest thing first on Monday. Woo, look at me, I'm a champion. No, man. Like, you messed up 1,000 times, have 1,000 years, and you said, finally, the pain of that isn't worth it. So I'm gonna put the hardest thing first.
Yeah,
Which
it's the procrastination thing. I'm a championship procrastinator if I want to be.
I would psychologically say it's not any harder anymore, because if it's the first thing you're doing, you actually love to do it subconsciously.
And it gets done. Yeah, I don't at this point, I don't care. It's
Love
part
the
of my
result.
calendar. It's part of my routine. It's the basics. I know what I have to do Monday at 7 o'clock. Like, I'm already up here doing stuff. I'm 3 hours into my day doing wherever I'm walking or doing whatever I'm doing. That's just when I stroll into this space. That's what I'm doing. I got 3 hours that's designated out. It's non-negotiable. That's the thing that has to get done. And at this point, no. Do I hate doing it? No. Is it my favorite thing in the world? No. But it does have to get done. It's no different than, I've got dumbbells laying on the floor over there that I know I have to pick them up and put them down throughout the day. I have a stand-up desk. I mean, it's all like Mike's talking about. I didn't just wake up one day and know this. That'd have been cool. But that is not how that worked, right? This is that personality development stuff we constantly talk about 1% better. That was a great book, by the way. If you guys haven't read it or watched the Iron Man of the gentleman with Down syndrome running the Iron Man, if you need a good tear fest, man, that's a good one. They did a great job on that one. But 1% better every day, and you will get to the point. Your calendar's leveraged out, and you've got EAs, and you've got all the stuff and things, and you're still going to be working on the basics. You're still going to be in shooting your jump shot at 4 o'clock in the morning in the gym.
Amen, brother. Well, listen, everybody, we got to go. We're out of time. We love you guys. Thanks for tuning in. You want to get more of us, tune into our socials, Total Disruption. We're everywhere you want to be. And for Jay Clendenning,
Like, subscribe, share.
Do it. It's your turn to disrupt. We'll see you next time.